Our first project today will be a Cinderella wreath. This wreath was heavily inspired by the live-action Cinderella, specifically the first trailer that came out when the butterfly landed on the glass slipper and then turned into a glass butterfly as well. So as you see, I'm taking a few different blues and white colored flowers to represent Cinderella's dress. I got all of these flowers, including the blue butterflies, from the Dollar Tree. I started by cutting off the stems of the flowers and then using hot glue to glue them down on top of the wreath. Once the majority of the blue flowers were on, I used greenery to fill in the rest of the wreath. Next, I'm taking these glass butterflies that I also got from the Dollar Tree, and I'm placing them on a few of the blue butterflies around the wreath. These do have a sticky backing, however, I added hot glue as well to make sure they wouldn't fall. I love how this wreath turned out, especially because it was just a little under $10 to make and adds a perfect touch of Disney to our home. Our next projects are two Cinderella-inspired bows. I start by taking this blue sparkly tulle and wrapping it around a book a few times. I used this book because it is the width that I wanted the bow to be. Then I trimmed off the excess and carefully removed it from the book. Now I'm taking the top and bottom and scrunching it down to the center to make a shape of a bow, and then I'm using this white thread to wrap around a few times so it will stay in place. Now I'm taking this blue ribbon to make a smaller bow to put on top of this one. I used the previous bow as a reference guide to know how long I need my ribbon to be. I double that and then go ahead and cut the excess off. Then cut a second ribbon the exact same length. Now take one ribbon with the shiny side down and fold it in the middle to make a small crease. This crease is a reference point to know where the center is, so then you can take a small dab of hot glue right in the center and fold over one of the edges. Go ahead and repeat for the second side. And then just repeat those steps for the second ribbon. Alright, now that you're done with both of those, you're going to flip them over, and then we're going to pinch the centers and put both of the ribbons together. Now just use some white thread to tie both of the ribbons together. Next, place the ribbon bow on top of the tulle bow, and we're going to use the same technique with the thread to tie these together as well. Next, I'm taking this black velvet ribbon for the center of the bow. This will cover all the thread that we use to tie them together. I chose the black ribbon because it reminded me of Cinderella's necklace. So once I knew where I wanted it, I used some hot glue and dabbed that onto the back and then glued that down and cut off the excess. Now for the center, I'm using this button that looks like it's glass. I used this because it reminded me when the mice were helping Cinderella make her dress, and then the glass because it reminded me of her glass slipper. So I just used some glue to put that right in the center. Alright, for the second bow, I'm using some black tulle, and using the same technique, I'm wrapping it around this book a few times until it's as thick as I would like it, and then I'll go ahead and cut off the excess. Now just carefully remove it from the book, and then scrunch down the centers to make the shape of a bow, and then now I'm using some black thread to tie that down. Now for the second layer, I'm using the sparkly blue tulle. I'm not using a book this time, but I did kind of use the first bow as a reference on how big I wanted it to be, and then I just repeated the same process and put that into a bow as well. Now that you have both bows, you can tie them together with some black thread. Next, I just cut some blue ribbon, and I'm folding it into the width that I want it, and this will be for the center of the bow, and this will hide the black thread that we used to tie it together. Then just use some hot glue to apply it to the center of the bow. And that's it! Thank you so much for watching and crafting with me. I had so much fun incorporating Cinderella into my day, and I just love the quote that says, "Have courage and be kind. Where there is kindness, there is goodness, and where there is goodness, there is magic."